Hi all, Terry here with another video, because God is so awesome. All things are possible with God, right? I asked the Father why I have to make videos the way that I do, recording the voice and then doing the slides separately. It's definitely the hard way to do it, and it takes more time. And my answer was that it's so that I don't ramble on and on and on. So I guess the last laugh is on me, right? Anyway, so if I want to change what I say on a video, it's probably going to end up being on the next video. So anyway, here's another dream. I had this dream on June 3rd. I call this one the special frog dream. Anyway, here's the dream. A group of people and I went to a place that was like a fish hatchery, except instead of ponds, there were rows of shallow canals. We were there to talk to the watchers who were in charge of the safekeeping of a special large frog. We were going to get the frog to take it to a wedding. This frog was prized, and it was a blessing to have this frog, or even to see it. The frog was the size of a large house cat. The watchers really stressed how important it was to be careful with this frog because he was so special. One person in my group who was taking the frog out of the farm where he was kept was my ex-husband's son, Damien. He is my youngest daughter's half-brother, and he has a mental disability. For some reason, it seemed the others from our group had gone ahead of us, and it was just Damien and I bringing the frog. I was letting Damien carry the frog while following me on a path through a wooded area. At one point on the trail, we went over some moss-covered downed tree logs, then went downhill to a creek at the bottom. After I crossed the creek by stepping on large rocks, I stopped before going up the other side to watch and make sure Damien made it. Sorry, I had to get a drink. I stopped to watch and make sure Damien made it down to the creek without slipping. Then I saw Damien almost down to the creek stop, take hold of the frog by its back legs and rear, and turn it upside down. Then he lifted the frog up, and with a swift motion, he shoved the frog down, stuffing it into a small pool of water that had collected in between a rock and some logs. Stuffing the frog headfirst into this small space, the frog was too big for. I yelled no and quickly got to them, pushing Damien away. As I started picking up the frog, while Damien was laughing, I said he better not be hurt. When I picked up the frog, it was bleeding from its eyes, nostrils, and the corners of its mouth. I laid it on a large rock and began praying. I asked God to heal the frog because he was a special gift that God had given to us. And I asked that God please forgive Damien because he did not know what he was doing, and me for letting Damien carry the special frog when I should have been more responsible. I began to cry as I was praying, and I thought of what the watch people would do if the frog didn't make it. So I prayed harder and cried and started praying out loud in tongues. Then I woke up. Okay, so for the interpretation. Going with the group of people to the watchers over the frog is me and the people I'm with thinking that we have to get permission from the watchers to take the large frog to the wedding. The large frog represents, as an acronym, forever or fully relying on God. To do that, we don't need permission from the watchers or teachers or preachers of God's Word. The Lord gave me 1 Timothy 1, 6 and 7, and that reads, "From which some, having swerved, have turned aside unto vain jangling," which means senseless talk, "desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say, nor whereof they affirm." And then on with the interpretation. Damien, being a person that is in my group taking the special frog to the wedding, is because he is a person with mental disabilities. I think he would be one who the Lord would take as a part of the bride, because he can't be held accountable as a young adult with special needs. The fact the frog was able to be hurt is because people don't fully rely on God. The wedding draws nearer, and the bride is not ready because the frog has not arrived. The rest of my group went on ahead of us. Even the watchers kept the frog caged and in a protected area of the farm. As a woman of God, it is my responsibility to pray for all of those who do not fully rely on God, so that the special gift of the frog could be healed and we could go on to take it to the wedding. And then God also gave me, for that part, God gave me 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. "But we were gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children." And then on with the interpretation. When I first woke up from this dream and wrote it down, I knew the frog was an acronym for a Christian message, but I didn't remember it. After looking it up, I worried that God was telling me I was not fully relying on Him and needed to, and that the message in the dream was just for me. Then, as I began getting the complete interpretation, I knew it was a message for all of us. Because the acronym has two words for the first letter, the F, The dream is saying to all of us that we must fully rely on God. And for those of us who do, it is our responsibility to pray for those who don't, so that we all can forever rely on God and can go to the wedding. In the dream, I worried what the watchers would do if the frog didn't make it, because they were used to putting the frog in a cage where he was safe. But the message to them would be, if they were fully relying on God, they would not have him in a cage where they felt he was safe. They would venture out and take him to the wedding themselves, instead of relying on others to do it for them. And so that's it for this dream. And pretty powerful message. Anyway, if you don't know Jesus, get to know him real soon. Love you all. I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.